The tachometer needle is closing in on the 4th gear red line. The speedometer indicates 105 miles per hour. Bobby Allison is feeling the Porsche 911 into the wide, banked turn 1 of Pocono's short road course. He has driven this section of the tri-oval dozens, maybe tens of dozens, of times before, always in a stock car and always in the other direction. But that doesn't matter. Now he is turning right instead of left. You could really hang up your spare parts in this corner if something went wrong. At this speed, the Porsche is towing an awkward threshold. Aerodynamic forces have lifted its front enough to make the steering light and vague, yet very twitchy. The rear has lifted too, and the tires are light enough to want to break out into a drift. I can feel it trying to hang, but it can't quite do it. Each time the tail comes loose, alley end number 173, Sun catches it with a microscopic correction of the steering and an adjustment of his foot on the gas. But almost as soon as it's caught, the rear comes unstuck again. And each time it does, the on end number 173, rushing boilerplate wall seems to click into even sharper focus. It's telling me to expect something bad, it doesn't say how bad. It's not real. End number 173, Leah strain at this speed we might even be able to run right to the mat in a few laps, but I just know better than to crowd it too soon. Porsches are quite a bit different from anything else I've driven except maybe a Volkswagen, and I've only driven VWs a minimum number of times. Bobby Allison, successful driver, an equally successful race car builder, feels no reverence toward the name Porsche. Which makes him the perfect driver to test the 1974 lineup of 2.7-liter Porsche and number 173, ES. It's easy to find someone who has raced Porsches successfully, someone with a factory deal or someone try and number 173, ing to carve out a factory deal who will be more than happy to help out on a test such as this. And you'll get a glow and number 173, ing report. But Allison is non-aligned. With him, the chips fall where they may. And he points out exactly where that might be in a precise, deep, gentle drawl that does not leave room for misinterpret. And number 173, Taschen. To be sure, Bobby Allison is a stock car driver, and, with more than 4 and number 173, tie NASCAR wins, an exceedingly calm and number 173, potent one. But he is much too diverse to be categorized in that narrow pigeonhole. He has also won on road courses and MDash, Riverside this past summer to name a recent one, and MDash, and driven open-wheelers for Roger Penske at Indy. He has even raced Porsches, at the Lime Rock Trans Am last season, and most recently as one of the select field of 12 at the International Race of Champions at Riv and number 173, airside just before this test. In fact, he even bought a new 911T to drive on the street in preparation for the IROC. Like many of today's best drivers, alley and number 173, Sun turns out to be more than just a drive and number 173, ER. He is also a car builder. His shop in Heaton, Alabama turns out parts and completed stock cars, as many as 100 a year, for serious racers. So Bobby Allison knows about automobiles from both sides of the steering wheel. With credentials such as these, Allison's assignment for car and driver was to probe the performance and personality of Porsche's newest collection of road cars as represented by 3 models, a 911, a 911's Targa and a Carrera, $42,940 worth of rear-engine machinery. Porsche's model lineup has under and number 173, gone a substantial overhaul. The T and E models are gone. At the bottom of the new heap is the no suffix 911, which lists for $9,950 po East Coast, plus every and number 173, thing. Up from there is the 911s. And that, in turn, is topped by the Carrera at $13,575, at that price as naked as the Venus de Milo. There is bound to be confusion over the Carrera. You're probably thinking and MDash, or at least hoping and MDash, that it has much in common with the Carrera RSRs that have been mowing down the opposition around the world in GT racing and that made up the field for the IROC. It doesn't. It's a 911's overlaid with a few of the RSR's accoutrements, Carrera side stripes, the upturned rear deck spoiler, a mandatory option at $285, slightly flared rear fenders and wider, 7 inches compared to 6 in front, rear wheels mounted with appropriately fatter tires. View photos. View photos.